The following program is a production of the Low Country Alliance for Media and Arts.
Okay, I'm here with a friend that I've known for many years. We don't get together very often, and I thought it was an appropriate time before time passes.
Yeah.
And we're out of time.
That's right.
To interview him. Cleve Wiggans, his real name, Cleveland, like Cleveland, Ohio, right?
That's right.
Of the Wiggans family. Your father was a musician here in town, so we can really go back a long time. Your memories of your father playing and your experiences playing too. So tell me where you're born, right here in Charleston?
Right. Baker's Hospital.
Okay. Oh, that's gone now too. And when was that? Back in 46?
45.
45. Okay, and tell me about the other siblings you have.
Well, I got my other brother, Charles Wiggins. He's a year, 12 months, 11 months older than I am. And then I got a twin brother, Steve.
Right, I met him.
Steve and Matthew, yeah. And then I had another brother, my younger brother, Bill. He died when he was 44, I think. Hypothermia.
How about the sisters? Are they musical?
No, not really. I've had two sisters. One's named Barbara. She married a Doble, Barbara Doble. And the other one is Emily Heitman. She married a Heitman guy.
But they didn't go out picking. They're not pickers and musicians.
No.
Okay, so men's work was the
They could
musician.
play the piano and sing. They could sing great and everything, but as far as going out and playing music, no, they didn't do that. They got married and had babies.
All right. So that takes us back to the whole history of the Wiggins family.
Yeah.
Tell us about your dad when he was born here in Charleston.
No, he was born in, on Highway 6. What is that? Holly Hill?
Holly Hill Way?
Yeah, Holly Hill.
Yeah. 1912.
1912.
What? And your mom?
She was born in Lake City in 1912.
So then they moved to Charleston?
Came to Charleston, and he moves around working for what they call the bum plant.
The bomb plant, yeah, sure.
He called it the bum plant.
I know what you're talking about. That was a big employer. Then did he come and work at the Navy base?
He worked at the Navy base, and then he quit. Came back out and wanted to work with his boys. So, doing roofing work.
All right. Now, how about the tradition of music before your father? Were his relatives?
His daddy played the fiddle.
Okay, so now we're going back to the 19th century. So this is really Charleston music history, or South Carolina Low Country. So I'm going to take you to this picture as a starting point that you brought in today, and Kevin will take a good shot of this and we can post this. But this is at the Francis Marion Hotel on the 10th floor, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And can you give us an idea about when this photo was taken?
I think it was in the 30s, had to be.
Oh yeah, I would say just by the...
He's young here, you know?
Yeah. So that's your dad before he was married?
That's right.
And what year was he married about, if you had to guess? Can you remember that?
No, I think he got married when he was 30 years old. So if he was born in 1912, that would have been in 12,
22,
10,
32,
20,
42?
30. Around 30s, yeah, somewhere around there.
1942, okay. And so your older brother's the oldest child?
Right.
Okay. So here he's in a trio, and you can tell by the dress. Look at the material that the guy playing the old Martin guitars, the kind of satin shirt, and they're all have kerchiefs around their neck, kind of getting the Gene Autry look. And you can almost hear the music, the drapery, the carpeting. This is a precious photo. You can almost hear the music. So tell me some earliest memories you have of your father playing music when you're just 5, 6. What was going on around the house?
Oh, man. Well, they would come to our house on South Red Avenue, and these guys would come in there and play music with my father. And we would be little boys like that, watching them.
Right, because he was already a veteran of playing on the radio.
Right.
So they come in just to rehearse or have a jam session, or?
I don't know what they did. I was so young. I was about 4 or 5 years old, but I remember them playing. They looked like giants. To me.
You'd be sitting on the floor?
Yeah.
Can you remember any of the songs, or what's the earliest songs you remember playing, or fiddle tunes, or singing?
That song about tonight, I am so sad and lonely.
Yeah, I wonder where you are tonight.
Yeah.
That'd be a one going
That's
back.
one of them there. And that stuff breaks me up. I start talking about it.
Yeah, it's touching to go back there to
Yeah.
childhood memories. So, the band that he was playing here, was that one he called, well, what was his nickname? He was
Shorty.
Shorty. Well, was he particularly short, or he just had that nickname?
No, he was 5'5". He was short.
Oh, a short guy.
Him and my mother were the same height, you know. But anyway, they did like Down Yonder.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Remember that old song?
Yeah.
You did it the other night.
That's
didn't
right.
you?
That's a
That?
timeless favorite.
And
So guitars and fiddles, how about banjos and mandolins? They bring those too?
my grandfather on my mother's side played the banjo, but he played a frail
Right.
type thing.
Oh, yeah, back then it wasn't three-finger picking much, yeah.
And I think they had 4 strings on them.
Oh, a tenor banjo
Yeah.
player. Yeah, sure, they use that in country music.
Mhm.
Why not? All right, well, take us up to when he formed the Dixie Playboys, which is when you talk about country music in Charleston,
Yeah.
that's among the oldest people still living and remembering country music. They would mention the Dixie Playboys, which had many members come through it. But was he one of the founders of the Dixie
Yes,
Playboys?
he was. See, what happened was they wanted to, like, go on the road, so to speak, you know, and they wanted to call it the Dixie Playboys. Well, my daddy, he didn't like that. He wanted Shorty, Wiggans, and the Dixie Playboys.
Uh-huh.
So they got in a little feud, and he quit. That was George Hutto, Gene Ray, and all of those guys, you know. So that's when they started getting Smokey Joe and different fiddle players, you know, to play with them. But
So they were playing more in his band to begin with.
Mhm.
All right. So what would you guess that was that just after World War II or during the World War II era? Just about the time you were born.
Yeah, about the time I was born.
Well, how about your recollections of some of the places, radio stations, and
Well, I
the
know
places they played?
they did the Coconut Groves. So did Johnny Spell.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Now, I haven't. He told me a little bit about that because that predates the Bayou Club, which
Right.
that used to be the number one place where all the sailors and people in town would go.
Yeah.
Did you ever go yourself?
No, I never been there.
So, but he played there often.
My father did. Yeah, he played there all the time.
Well, when was that about?
I think that was probably before I was born.
Okay, so
It
that
was a long time.
that'd be interesting to research when it opened and exactly where it was. I think it's
It was
close.
Spruill Avenue, wasn't it?
Spruill Avenue was the Bayou Club, but I think Coconut Grove might be down the street where those strip clubs are,
Right.
off of Upper Meeting Street.
That's right.
I think so. But maybe the building is one of the strip clubs now. I don't
It
know.
could
It'd be
be.
interesting to
Yeah.
research that.
You know, it might be. Yeah.
So, tell me something more about early memories when playing with the family. You know, when you actually when he would show you or teach you something or encourage you to play an instrument along with your brothers. When
Well, we
was that?
had, like I said, my cousins, the Boykins. They would come around every week, at least once a week, and some other people. And so all of us boys would play. My twin brother plays the piano, and I played the guitar. My brother Charles played a Martin D18, and Bill played bass. And my daddy, he played the fiddle. So we would
It was a family band.
once a week we'd all get together and just jam in my living room right now where I'm living.
So that's the old family home
Yeah,
on James Island.
right.
So would other people come? Was like a neighborhood gathering spot? People come and listen to you?
Yeah, the people next door would come over, you know, and people down the street would come and just a whole gang of people, and there wasn't enough room.
Right. Yeah. That really does sounds like an old country gathering. If you had a front porch, you'd just sit out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about going out playing professionally? When would he take you out, like as a family band or with your cousins and stuff?
We did. We
All
went
right.
out
So
and played some gigs.
What were some of the first places you played? Like,
well, the first place was, did you ever know a guy, they called him, he had an extra finger on his hand. He's a bass player. What was his name? Will Young.
no, I hadn't heard of him. I mean, Johnny Spell.
Lee Judy.
Oh yeah, Lee Judy.
Okay,
Sure.
we used to go to Lee Judy's house and play with him, you know. And he played the fiddle and guitar, but my daddy played the fiddle, and Lee played guitar. And he taught me how to play with the pick of my finger. So I started playing like Merle Travis and Chet Atkins. That's when I came into that. I was like maybe 10 years old or something, I don't know.
So you're playing on a flat top guitar then?
In '58, I was 12. It had to be around '58 because I had my 335.
And your mom bought that for you?
She bought it for me.
Yeah. So,
$360.
wow, that was a lot of money.
Back
Wow,
then it
she
was.
saved a long time. You're
Yeah.
not kidding.
She made payments on it. Fox Music House.
Fox Music
Yeah,
House.
Maurice Fox.
Back when it was on King Street.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 1928 when it founded, you know, back when the era when they had downtown music stores and
Yeah.
fully stocked and look in the window and, oh, I want to get that guitar one day.
Well, she
kinda.
bought Charles's Martin, Maya 335, and bought Bill a bass and Steve a piano. All of us.
Keeping Fox Music in business.
Yeah.
Well, it's always great when your parents support you like that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of musicians had resistance early on, and it was something that they weren't supposed to do, wasn't approved by the church, by the family, was a disgrace to the family, all that. But if you got the will to play, you're going to play anyways. But it's always nice, I think it's nicer to have the other way, to have the music in the family and get all the encouragement that you got.
Well, you remember the county hall.
Sure.
Chubby Wise came to the county hall, and my daddy is the one that got him there. He put it, just like you did, he did the same thing.
He promoted the show.
He promoted the show.
So he promoted shows at County Hall.
Yeah, I mean, he did that. I know he did that one because we were old enough to go see Chubby Wise play, and we wanted our father, wanted him to play, but he wouldn't play.
Yeah. So what would you guess what year that would have been?
I'd say probably in the 50s.
Yeah, because Chubby played with Hank Snow for a long time.
Right.
Was Hank Snow came too?
It could have been Hank Snow.
Yeah, well, I'm just guessing from your father's perspective.
Right.
He was more interested in Chubby Wise than he was in Hank Snow. So it probably was Hank Snow. So, give me some recollections of what. Yeah, of what your impression of County Hall and those shows were like. Because I've had other people tell me that was the place that, if a show was coming to town, it was County Hall.
Yeah.
So what are some of the people you saw there? Did you get backstage?
Yeah, we did, and met some of them and everything. What I always remember about the county hall is they had this giant curtain, and it was always down. And then you hear the guitar players in the background, doing boom, boom, and then you want me just touching the guitars and stuff.
Checking them.
Yeah, and then they would open the curtain, and there they were. Well, we go crazy. Carl Smith,
Oh yeah.
people like I said, Ernest Tubb, and a whole gang of people. I can't remember all of them. It's been so long. But he played with a bunch of people.
So he opened the show? Would he be like an opening act?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. I know he worked with different people, and he got real frustrated with music completely and quit playing.
Wouldn't play at home anymore with the...
Yeah, he'd play at home. That
Yeah.
was it, though. He didn't want to go out and, book a gig and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So, how about you playing with your brothers then? After your dad got frustrated with the business, then you continued to did you call it the Wiggans Brothers Band, or
Right,
what was
we
the
had
first thing that you went out and played with your brothers?
We had a band called the Wiggans Brothers.
A good name.
Yeah.
So, and where are some of the places earliest places you played?
Oh man, let me see. The Amvets on Dorchester Road.
Which one?
The Amvets.
Ambets, American Veterans. Yeah, like a hall kind of place.
Right. And they'd have fights every time we go there and play. But we play almost every weekend.
A mix of country and pop, rock.
Right,
Kinda, yeah.
that's right.
I have seen, we played maybe 1-2 gigs together, but I watched you play. Very versatile, and you play some jazzy stuff,
Yeah, a little bit.
Play on the cruise ship for a long time, didn't you do that?
That was 20 years.
Man, that's a long time. So you had to play a lot of pop, rock, stuff like that.
Everything, because you didn't know what kind of crowd you're just going to have every night.
Right.
Be a different crowd.
But you started with country, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. I started out when we played like Chet Atkins and Merle Travis.
Right.
That's what I went for.
So what year would you guess that you were playing at the Ambets on Dorchester?
I'll tell you in a second. Let's see, I think it was like 61, somewhere around there.
So you were 16 years old.
Yeah, I was young.
Yeah. Nobody cared anything about
They didn't.
age limit.
No.
No, back then. Same thing. In Chicago. I couldn't get in any other bars, but I could get into hillbilly bars. They didn't care.
Yeah.
If you could walk in, it was okay.
That's right. We were like a garage band that got a gig, you know what I mean, to play and make a little bit of money. So we took advantage of it and stayed there for a good while.
So was that close to where the later on was it the motel that had Dorchester Inn? Was it by that?
And right across the street from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a picture where. Yeah. So over the years, you played with a number of bands and done solo trios. I mean.
I went on the road 3 years and played with a band called Tease. And we played for a host agency out of Orlando, Florida. And we played down in the Keys for 6 months. And then we went all the way up to Kansas City, Missouri, and West Virginia, and Steubenville, Ohio, and just wherever they booked us, we went.
Oh, so you had an agency booking you.
Right.
And what would you like? Were they clubs or lounges? What were you
They
doing?
were more like Holiday Inns.
Oh, yeah, that was a good circuit back then, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
it was.
Well, because I was just talking about, maybe we were talking about that, the Holiday Inn circuit, because you get a room
Yeah.
and you get so many free drinks.
That's
They
right.
always limit your number of drinks. And the people in the motel would come and see it. And if you're in Steubenville, Ohio, it ain't much to do. They see who's playing at the Holiday Inn, so you could draw a crowd.
Yeah.
If they liked you, they keep coming back and tell their friends. So it was a, yeah.
It was a
interesting.
circuit we were working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you had to do a little bit of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I played in Meridian, Mississippi, and
But I mean, the
Rome.
repertoire, the songs that you do, you have to be, depending on where you were.
Right.
If you're in West Virginia, you got to do more country. If you're somewhere else, you do more R&B or.
I had this girl singer, and she was singing stuff like Nightlife.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Disco. So we played that, and of course I'd always sing, some kind of country stuff.
Right. You were the country ingredient of the band.
Yeah. I couldn't play like Van Halen.
No, not going that far.
But all
Well, they
that-
probably wouldn't like that in the,
No, I
in the
just-
Holiday Inn. That
yeah.
wouldn't go in.
Those guys in the band, they were from Georgia, Macon, Georgia, and they'd all laugh at me because they'd say, "We want to see Cleve play like Van Halen," and I couldn't do
This ain't gonna
it.
happen.
No.
Maybe Van Halen want to play like Cleve Wiggans. Could happen. Is that so? Are you pretty much self-taught, or?
Yeah.
I've seen your brother play. Man, he plays a lot of guitar too.
Yeah.
He knows his way around a guitar. So was it one brother teaching, competing, or kind of how'd you get all the chops?
I practice all the time. With
So, but by
practice.
ear.
Yeah,
Nobody,
by-
did you
by
watch, was there somebody you go out and watch, like Marvin Lanier, Duke Roberts?
I
You
saw-
had two
saw-
guys that
yeah.
you could go out if they're playing in a club. Now, this is the way I
Yeah.
was. You're not stealing, you're studying at the
Pick
feet
up
of the
little
master.
things from them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
So were
I-
those two guys you'd watch a lot?
I always there was another guy. His name was Jan Ackerman.
Oh yeah, Jay, sure.
Jay Ackerman.
Yeah.
That's it. He could play like Chet Atkins.
Yeah, he was good.
Oh God, man.
He was good ear player on the piano too.
And I like Bob Smith. I did a gig with him with Elmer Fuddpucker. He came to the air base and we backed him up. And I'll never forget, he told me, he said, look at me, he said, if you want to get people going, if the song is in G, do it in A.
Yeah.
Raise it up. He
Right.
said, it puts more fire into the song, you know. And I asked Bob Smith, he was playing too. And I asked him, I said, what are you playing? What kind of chords? He said, triads. I didn't know what a triad was, you
Yeah.
know. He said, it's 3 chords.
Yeah,
One,
3-note
two.
chords.
Yeah. And he was great. Great guitar player.
Yeah, Jay showed me some stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I guess you call them substitute chords in a different way
Right.
to voice melodies. Yeah, he had really, really good ear. But he thought Duke Roberts was the greatest in the world.
I do too. I
Yeah.
thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think he played with my father.
Way back when.
Well,
Because,
that's
you know,
right.
he played the fiddle way back, too.
Yeah.
He liked the fiddle, but the guitar was always his number one
Yeah.
choice.
Right.
But he could play good fiddle. I told him a
Oh,
story
yeah.
of he was playing electric guitar and the power went out at some tent we were playing at, and he picked up my fiddle and he played right in tune.
Man,
I got his old fiddle. He sold it to me.
that's the one you played the other
Yeah, I
night.
played the other night.
Thing still sounds good, don't it?
Had a picture of him in 1952 playing the fiddle.
Oh,
So I
Lord.
got the proof that it was his.
Hmm.
Well, you gave us some good information about your dad. So who are some of the people that he played with? The original Playboys, Gene Ray, and what were some of the other ones?
Doug Phillips.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then, if I'm getting my history right, Doug Phillips left the Playboys and started his own band, and that was with Duke and Johnny.
Okay.
Is that? I
That
believe
sounds
it
right,
happens,
yeah.
Well,
He
then-
played drums with my father.
I'm not sure what grade musician he was. I don't think he was the quality of Johnny and Duke. I think he was the front man that went out and hustled the gigs. And,
Right, right.
Because John or one of them said that he would start out the band playing and then leave the bandstand and kind of leave them to take care of the music.
Well, Duke Roberts, he was younger than my father, you know.
Oh yeah, by 20 years probably.
Yeah, probably 20
Yeah.
years.
So but he probably came around because he enjoyed the fiddling.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't think I was around.
Yeah. No, he probably. Well, I'm trying to think when Duke was first coming. You were probably around about 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
All right, I can't. Is there anything else that you think you could add? Because you add another page to
Right.
the history of
I'm
those
trying
guys. So
yeah.
I'm trying. I got to research this the photo. Tell me who the other people are. These are your relatives. This is your uncle playing
That's
the
my
other
uncle.
guitar.
Yeah.
How about the guy?
They called
playing-
him Happy Jack. I don't know what his name was, but that's what they called him.
Happy Jack. And did he? Do you remember him when you were a kid, or he'd already left?
No,
town?
I don't remember him. I remember my uncle a lot. I think that man died kind of young.
About the instruments. I know you're like a fan of old instruments and have got some nice ones yourself.
Yeah.
Your daddy's old fiddle. You think your brother's got that? Huh?
I think Charles has it, I believe.
Yeah. How about playing the fiddle? Tell me when you started doing that.
Right after my daddy died, when he died, I went and got me a fiddle.
When did he die?
Let's see, in 1959, I think it was.
So he was a relatively young man.
Yeah, 58 years old.
No, 1958. You would have.
Oh,
Born
was
at
it
12.
69? Let me see.
Must have been 60.
69.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
but he wasn't out playing gigs for a long time before he died.
No,
You probably
we
hung it up in what, in the early 50s?
well, we would play all the time at
Yeah,
the
put that
house,
out,
you know. Yeah,
And so what were some of his favorite tunes that he'd play?
Ragtime Annie.
Yeah, the standards.
Yeah, Black Mountain Rag, and he would retune the fiddle to
Right.
an A,
Right, standard to do
so
that.
he could do that. Ba-da-da. You know, there's a
Right.
thing in there with double notes. You know, it's
Right.
real pretty. I've heard Kenny Baker do it before. I guess all them old fiddle players that could do it. You
So
know.
when he would hang with the other old fiddlers in town, with Pop Hensley and Smokey Joe,
Yeah.
and who were some of the other old fiddlers around town?
I don't remember any other fiddle players actually. Wasn't there a Coon guy?
Oh, Herbie Coon, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
he
Herbie
played
Coon,
fiddle.
yeah, he played the fiddle.
And it's hard to remember all that old stuff. It goes back so far, you know.
So you wound up in the old family home.
Yeah, I got the house after my mother passed away, and she did. I just went ahead and bought it,
Yeah.
paid the rest of the family off.
But more pictures like that and artifacts are kind of spread around.
Mm-hmm.
You think if you get them together, with Kevin's help, we could,
Sure.
copy them, and because that's a big part of history.
That's right. I'll try to find some more of them.
They just had
I
that
can.
the thing about country music on PBS, and I think somebody should document as much as possible what was going on here.
That's right.
Because the same as in Nashville, the upper class or the high society people didn't think much of the hillbilly music. It's probably the same thing around here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, hillbilly.
It's kind of
Black,
lower class
no.
music, and as you said, you go to the club and a lot of fighting would be going on.
Yeah,
But between the fighting, there was a lot of good music made.
a lot of good music. It really
Yeah.
was.
After they'd have a show at County Hall,
Mhm.
Duke and John both told me this. The artists wouldn't be done playing. They would just feel like playing and want to go out and have a drink or party and jam, and they'd come out to the Bayou Club
Yeah.
and they jam with the band. So they just finished putting out a show, and they still had the love of the music, the party, whatever. But they came to party, but they also would always sit in and want to play with the local guys. And,
I thought that was great.
yeah. He told me that Hank Garland came one time and just absolutely knocked
I
him out
remember
two
him.
clubs. You remember Hank Garland coming
Yeah.
to town?
Well, I don't remember coming to town, but I just remember him, as
Oh,
a
yeah.
singer.
No, the playing was the thing. Sugarfoot Rag was his thing.
He played Sugarfoot Rag, but he sang too, though.
He sang a little bit, but never made it as a recording guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They tried to get him to become a recording guy, to try that, but he was a monster, way ahead of his time on guitar playing.
I wish I could give you some more, stuff. I just can't think of it right now.
Well, I appreciate you coming and telling me as much as you can.
Yeah.
So how about when the Brother Act split up, then you became playing with backing up girl singers and any other kind of
That's
work
right.
you get.
I played with that Carolina band.
Oh yeah, that was a big, that was
Right.
like a show band kind of thing.
Yeah. And there was another band too. It was Charleston Express.
Oh yeah.
I played with them for a little while, not too long. Anyway, there was a lot of bands around. My brother, I played mostly with Bill, a younger brother, because he knew all them old country songs,
Yeah.
he knew every one of them. And he would sing them and play bass.
How about Marvin Lanier? Did you play with him or play?
I've jammed with him a little bit, and also that steel guitar player, his name was Happy.
Oh yeah,
Remember
maybe.
him?
Yeah. He was from Detroit. He wasn't around not too long, was he?
No,
Yeah.
he was a great steel player.
He was.
Oh. But I love Johnny Spell. I think he's an awesome player.
Oh man,
I do.
absolutely.
I remember him from way back.
Yeah.
He played with Lee Judy and all them old guys.
Yeah, I got a great interview with him.
Who?
Johnny Spell.
I
Yeah.
bet so.
Yeah. It all started when he was 6 years old. A door-to-door salesman came.
All right.
Stars of Tomorrow Music School.
Oh.
You remember that?
No.
Yeah. How about Mr. Saback? You certainly
Oh
remember.
yeah, I worked
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah, well, I think he kind of inherited that, or was about at the same time, but he gave lessons to Marvin Lanier way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And won some competition. They were on TV, and
Didn't he take the band to Washington or something?
that was some kind of, they
White
won
House?
an award.
Yeah.
There's a picture he had in his garage, a gigantic picture with all of his students of his
I
award-winning
remember
band.
He wore that mattress-looking coat with a bow tie. He was a beautiful old man.
Oh,
man.
but
I mean,
yeah, to think that he he could teach you the guitar, the fiddle, the accordion, the Hawaiian steel guitar.
Right.
He could get you going on all of them. And it had a studio on King Street. You walked up the stairs. Remember that?
Yeah, he used to sell equipment too,
Yeah.
like drums and stuff like that, you know.
Well, good. I appreciate you taking us back to
But I tell
what
you-
the music scene was.
I went in 1963 or 64. I played with the Villagers on Channel 4 for 2 years, and with the Village Square was the name of the show. And the band was Little Ricky and the Lancers, and we played there. We'd go video it on Wednesday, and they'd play it on Saturday. And we would go out to schools like Hibernian Hall, places like that, you know, and play.
And what was it called?
The band, you mean?
Yeah.
The show was Village Square.
Huh. And
Jim-
it was taped.
Yeah,
I wonder if they
so-
have any of them on in the records. Which
I'm
which
sure
TV
you do.
station
I'll
was
tell you
it?
who owned it. Having the show was Jim Owens.
Huh.
He's in Nashville, and but I was the first one to go play on the TV with the Villagers,
What channel was it?
Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Mm-hmm.
Guessing about 63, 64.
Yeah,
Well, if it's on tape, maybe they got something. It could possibly.
he just did a show not too long ago at Myrtle Beach of the summer of '65 is what he called it. But I played before '65 on 64 and '63,
Right.
and but they went on the road, and then the band, and they got into drugs and stuff like that, you know. And it was a good show.
So they recorded?
Yeah.
Make records?
Yeah.
too? What was the
They
name
did
of the
that.
band?
They did that song, "The Villagers."
The Villagers. I kind of heard of it.
You remember that song about you don't know what you got until you lose it?
But I have to look it up.
Well,
The Villagers.
They recorded that.
So, back in that era,
Yeah.
there was a lot of local music on TV.
Right.
What else can you remember? I mean, you remember seeing Johnny Spell and those guys on TV?
Yeah, I remember them being on there, but see, on the weekends, I didn't get to see the show. We videoed on Wednesdays and then took off on Friday and Saturdays.
No, but back when Johnny and Duke were doing it was live. There was no, they didn't
Okay.
record it. They just
Right.
had to be at the station, had to run back to the station and go to the gig, kind of that way.
But
But-
they were videoing us. That's what, yeah.
So what other things would you hear on the radio or see on TV, local people that you can remember?
I don't know. You talking about musicians?
Yeah, or groups, or did you play on radio yourself?
Well, yeah, we worked on that radio station for Clarence Jackson.
Oh, well, tell me about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
how did, that was with your dad?
Right.
Okay, yeah, we
Yes.
skipped that part.
And we went to out on 52. He had a
Monk's
radio
Corner,
station.
yeah, out to Monk's Corner way.
And but us boys were young, and we'd always argue and fight. So my father, he just said, I ain't gonna do this anymore. You know, he couldn't take it.
So you play on? Would Clarence play the dobro with you? Oh man,
Yeah, he was
I mean,
good.
yeah, it'd be great to hear some of that.
That
So
was
your dad was on the fiddle, and your brothers backing the guitar and
Yeah.
bass, and
Steve was playing the piano, and
oh man.
Bill played bass. Charles played his D18 Martin, and
So we're talking 50s now.
yeah.
That's the first work you were doing with your
Well, I
dad.
had my 58 335, so it had to be around 59, somewhere around there.
You didn't play before with an acoustic guitar?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's taking us back. So what did he call himself? Something Green Onions?
That song, Green Onions?
No, he had a nickname.
Oh, you're talking about Clarence Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember it, though.
So what did the studio look like? Did people come in and hear you play at the studio, or you just...
No, it was like being in here with
Yeah.
mics all over the place, you know,
Right.
in one big room.
Right.
And he had these army duffel bags, those big ones. They would be full of requests.
Wow, he got that many letters come in.
Yes,
Wow.
wanting us to sing a song,
And how often would you come in? Once a week?
once a week.
When was that? Saturday?
We go up there, let's see. Yeah, probably Saturday.
And would you prepare a program like your dad would get some
No,
songs ready,
we
or you
just go there and play.
That's right. It's just, okay, we're going to do this, and you better be ready.
Yeah.
Man, and there's some good memories. Now, I know nobody ever took any pictures of that, did they? You think?
I think Clarence Jackson might have some, but he's dead now, isn't he?
Yeah. I wonder where all these old pictures go, because some would really be precious to see.
Man.
Well, it's just at least it's something else you can remember back in those days. I appreciate you telling me. So you learned fiddling from Smokey Joe after your dad died in '69.
Yeah,
You took up
right.
the fiddle, and Smokey Joe was instrumental in helping you out.
He was helping me out, yeah. I was going to tell you that we backed up a lot of people on the Folly Beach Pier on the original, like the Olympics, Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs and people like that, And,
When you say we, who would that
the
be?
band, the Lancers, I was playing with on
Okay.
Channel 4.
Okay.
Well, we'd go out there on the weekends and open up for Jerry Lee Lewis.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
So you get me in a whole new.
Yeah.
I'm glad you teach. So the Lancers were like a band that played at the Folly Beach Pier.
A local band. We played at the Jewish Community Center over on 61.
Yeah.
And like I said, Hibernian Hall and Grace is something other. And
So you're one of the more popular bands for sure.
yeah, we were. They were number one. At that time we were,
So
But-
did you have horns in that band?
no.
No, strictly guitar.
We were like the remember the Vistas? Not the Vistas, but Walk Don't Run. Who did that?
Ventures.
Ventures. That's who
Yeah.
we were copying.
So a guitar band,
We had 3 guitars.
an electric bass, and a drum.
That's right.
And you split the leads, or you did most of the lead? You did a finger style, and somebody did more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do stuff like we did stuff like Mrs. Brown, You Have a Lovely Daughter,
Yeah.
and that little lead part, well, I could play that, and
Yeah.
the other guys couldn't do it, so I would do it. And
The Lancers.
yeah,
Okay. How long did that go on?
Leroy Thompson, he was my best friend, so we played together for like 4 or 5 years. And then I got married. I was 19. And of course my ex-wife got pregnant, and I had to quit the band because I couldn't go on the road. They wanted to go on the road. I couldn't do it. And I gave my job to, because we were friends. We were buddies back then. When we played, we didn't compete and fight and all that. We were just buddies.
Right.
I'd go to Leroy's house, spend the night at his house. He'd come to my house, spend the night at my house. And I'd leave my 335 with him. And he would take Q-tips and clean it. From one end to the other.
Yeah.
And then he got him a Stratocaster. Anyway,
So who else was in the band?
Well, Wayne West, I played with him a little while, and he's a Jehovah's Witness, but he's a good person, real good person, really is, and a great guitar player and singer. He could sing that song, Marie, I think's the name of it, that Brooks and Dunn did. He could sing it just like them, Anyway, he was a great musician. And my brother, Steve played piano with him, with the Villagers. He went on the road with him, because I don't think he was married then. And
So the brothers ever still get together and play together?
no, we hadn't played together in so long. It's almost like, I don't know, they don't want to play. It's like a competition thing.
No. So as friendly you were with your friends and fellow musicians, the brothers had too much rivalry going on.
See, a long time ago, man, I was sitting there and I was taking a turntable about that big around. I put my record on. play it a little bit, back it up, back it up, back it up. I did that for years, and I learned a lot of stuff from doing that. And now, I don't want to put nobody down or anything, but like my brother, he wants to learn what I learned 30 years ago or 40 years ago, you know. And if Bill was still alive, I'd be playing with him right now, because he always had a gig, always.
Yeah, how you learn is very important.
Did you know Cal Ray?
I know that name.
He played with us too. Yeah, he was a bass player, and guitar player, and a fiddle player.
Jack of all trades guy.
Yeah.
Just hand him an instrument.
Well, I don't know. I feel like that's what I am too, but I tend to play more guitar than anything else my whole life, you know.
Oh, yeah, I saw you messing with the steel. Did you play the steel for a while?
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. When I was on the harbor cruise, I was there for 20 years, and all of a sudden, I got something going on with my hands. I mean, they burn, they sting. I've had carpal tunnel cut right here. They cut me here. They did cortisone shots through there, through here, my shoulders and my elbows. And then they went and cut me from here all the way to here and took everything out and fused the screws in my spine. So, but I'm still the same before all that.
It didn't improve
It
anything?
didn't improve nothing. I did all that for nothing. And I really don't appreciate it, because it really, man, I mean, I really went through a hard time trying to play, you know, because I wanted to play, and I needed the money too. And the harbor cruise was a good job, except if it was snowing outside, you had to take your guitar and everything and walk all the way across that parking lot and go down into the boat, and by the time you got in there, your hair was soaking wet and everything. It was terrible. It was a hard job. And but I mean, I made good money playing. I'd play sometimes 7 nights a week. Sometimes I'd play for retards, and sometimes I'd play for a Christian group. Then sometimes it would be just locals, and they would be all drunk and partying and everything, you know. You never knew who you're going to play for.
Right. But they always got a good crowd. I mean,
Yeah.
especially tourists love to go on the boat.
Yeah, it was a good cruise. I mean, went out to
How
Fort
long did you go
Sumter.
out? You go out like, it was like a 2-hour gig, you'd say?
Yeah,
Back and
3
forth?
hours, I think.
Oh.
We did 3 sets. I know that. So it had to be 3 hours. Rick Mostella, he was the guy that had the job, you know what I mean? And he was a nice guy, really was. And I remember, you know, I played there so long, I was ready to get off. He told me, he said, the guy that hired me was David Tower. You remember David Tower?
No.
He could sing like a bird and play. I mean, rhythm. I taught him, I said, David, instead of playing just a regular C chord, why don't you play a C major 7? And he told me I changed his whole world by showing him a major 7 chord. And it did. It changed. You know, it makes a difference when you do that, you know. And but now I know so many chords now. It's ridiculous. I took the fiddle and the steel guitar and I drew a picture of the neck, and I wrote down every note all the way down so I could learn the notes. I didn't realize, but I played this one lick on the fiddle that I loved, and I didn't know about playing a minor scale is what it is.
Yeah.
The G's open, the D's open, and you just rake across that and play the flat, the third, and play the 1, and that's a minor, G minor.
Right.
Room. And you heard me play it the other night. If I warm up on a fiddle, I can really play pretty good, halfway decent anyway. But I can't play reels. I play Ragtime Annie like Kenny Baker. That's where I learned it. My daddy played it like he was sawing it.
Yeah.
Like that, you know. And I like
Oh, yes. Kenny Baker had a a real special touch.
Oh,
Just
man.
with the bow and also his left hand. It just kind of it was beautiful to watch, even if no sound was coming out of it. It was graceful.
He told my cousin, he said, if you walk up behind me when I'm playing the fiddle, he said, take your finger and do that, you could thump the bow out of my hand. That's how light he held it. And I remember that stuff. I don't want to forget it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he had to be putting more pressure than that, because he could punch some volume out of the thing, too.
I know he could, but that's what he told my cousin. And I was standing right there when he said it.
Yeah, he had a nice way of shifting the double stops, too.
Smooth touch.
Yeah, very
and
smooth.
I remember the other guy, Chubby Wise, he said that Kenny was a good fiddle player, but he didn't have enough miles on him, years of playing. He needed some more of that. But you know, people want to talk about everybody, you know. But
well, they pretty much admired him, though. Most fiddle players admired him. They listened to him. And he influenced. There's a lot of people he influenced. It was for a while he was. Bill Monroe said he was the best fiddler in bluegrass music. So he put that stamp on him, and everybody says, "Well, I want to play like him."
That's right.
But just for that reason, but also because the sound he got.
He was great.
Did you ever get to see him? Or
Yeah. I saw him a lot. See, my cousin used to go out to those festivals, and she'd take me with her. She liked Baker.
And who was that?
Marie Boykin.
Oh, okay.
That was
So tell me about the Boykin family, these cousins, and all the playing that they did.
Well, there was three boys. It was Zeb, Dewey, and Norval, and they played. Well, Dewey was not really that good, but Norval, he played more like bluegrass. Ralph Stanley.
Okay.
He liked stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, because you don't think of much history of bluegrass in the Low Country.
Right.
It wasn't it? But these guys, that was their thing.
Yeah, and then Zeb, he had a camera, and him and his buddy, they would film movies in their house with cowboy guns on and a hat and everything, and they would, film it, and then go back and watch it. You could see it looked real. And he thought he did a Elvis Presley impersonator. I backed up 2 or 3. This one guy, his name was Duke Presley. Yeah,
You good at it?
I backed him up.
Was he a good imitator?
Yes, he looked just like Elvis. I thought I was sitting at a table with Elvis.
Wow.
And but
Did he sound like him, though?
The same, yeah, just like him. The same girl that Julian Hensley loved her. Her name was BJ. She played with us. She was the backup singer.
Which group was this?
It was Duke Presley and whatever. I don't know what.
Oh, so was that strictly an Elvis act?
That's right. That's right.
What was that like? Did you enjoy it, or you get tired of doing Elvis stuff?
Well, I got tired of doing that when I played at Brentwood with the Carolina band, because that's all Burt Floyd would sing is Elvis Presley. And I like Elvis too, but enough, I like other people too.
Yeah.
There's other.
So you played the Brentwood? You played that for a while, huh?
I played that it was either 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
6, 7 nights a week.
That's, what I remember about that's how loud it was in there.
Oh God. Man.
Yeah, and that was. So did that mess with your hearing at all, playing that loud?
It could have. I don't even know. Could have.
Yeah. So this, it's good to talk to somebody that continued to, start as a child and got versatile enough to see. I played Elvis. I played with disco band. I played with a variety band.
Yeah.
And played a cruise. A working musician is you can take a lot of pride in that. That I made a living playing music.
You did
a tough
it too.
thing too. Well, in a narrower kind of scope.
Okay.
The fact that if you heard something, you went off trying to figure it out, kept dropping the needle.
It was right around the time of Exile.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
We
Exile.
were doing all their songs in Alabama. Everybody had the beard with the shave this part here off,
uh-huh.
so we looked like Alabama, Yeah. But it was fun. I had a good time playing. I can't
How
say
about
I didn't.
the Lazy Bee? Did you ever play on that?
Yeah, played Lazy Bee.
Yeah.
I was the one that got the Charleston Express a job, their first job at the Lazy Bee, because I knew Red Bluer, because that's who he used to own the ambulance that we played at.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's
he
a
went-
connection.
Yeah, so I knew him, and I went there and talked to him and got them a job, and then I played with him for a little while, and then I got tired of it, and I just couldn't.
Okay, I think we can wrap it up. I have never got to sit down and talk to Cleve this long. We'll probably have to do some editing, but I learned a bunch. But look for those pictures, any old artifacts you got, or the old family pictures and the
I will.
Wiggans and all that, and we'll put them together with the interview. Kevin, thank you so much.
Yeah,
And thank you, Cleve.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. What to do? I hope it